everyone, welcome back to Happy Heartsy. If you're new here, I am Lenka and I share my beginner-friendly crochet tutorials, tips, patterns, and make it a little bit less overwhelming and easier for new crocheters. And today I want to break down quite a huge topic, and it's how to read the crochet patterns, because it's quite necessary to know while you start to crochet. I'm sure that you already have many cool patterns that you want to crochet and you're a little lost because you don't know how to read it. So let me try to explain it in a simple way. Alright, so now let's talk about the crochet patterns. You get the crochet pattern, you're super excited to start, and then you might skip some important things. So let's do it step by step. Also, I'll be showing you like the sections from my own crochet pattern, which is for the Even Moss Stitch Dishcloth. So it's also part of the starter kit, but I will talk about my crochet starter kit for beginners later or at the end of this video. So stay tuned if you're more interested. And then so yeah, you will see the sections from that pattern. So it's gonna be easier for me to explain it to you, and also for you, you're gonna get the visual what I mean. So if you're gonna start with the crochet pattern, so you get the pattern, you're of course super excited to do it. I get that feeling, you know, you wanna just do it right away. But there are important information that I wouldn't skip, and I would actually really pay attention to it. So usually I'm gonna be talking based on like how I write my patterns. Of course, there are different styles of crochet patterns, but I think that in general there should be like some basic like terms and every crocheter use it in the pattern. Okay, so now let's say what I do first. Like a first information is what hook size you need, what yarn I use for that project, because some people, they want to do it exactly the same, or maybe different colors, but they really want to use the same brand. So I always do it there, but it's only recommended. So let's say if you know that that yarn is worsted weight and you have in your stash worsted weight, then you can use that one. But then if size matters, you have to do your gauge swatch. There should be also a gauge provided, but again, the gauge provided is based on that designer who did the project, did the pattern, with that hook size and that yarn brand. So your tension most likely will be different, especially if you use different tools, different supplies. So definitely, if size matters, of course, if size matters, then I would definitely do the gauge swatch and do that extra step, because if you don't do it, you might just spend hours of crocheting and then it wouldn't fit, or it wouldn't be exactly how you want it, and then it's just very, you just get very upset about it, right? So let's skip that part. Let's be just happy and do that one. But about the gauge, I already talked about it in a previous video, so we can go there. But now let's focus on the pattern. So this is the information, yeah, what tools you use, the gauge swatch. Then there are notes. Their notes are pretty kind of, I think that maybe in some patterns there's lots of notes. You would rather skip it, but they are very important because they highlight information in the pattern. Let's say especially the information that it's repetitive in the pattern. So designers, they put it in the notes. So now you can see my notes section. It's actually the dishcloth is very easy. So there's not many notes, but you can see like what's the stitch used in the pattern. Also, like if the turning chain counts as a stitch or not. That's actually very big thing too, because it might confuse, you know, you and all the patterns. So if you let's say take the turning chain as a stitch, then it will totally mess up your pattern, and then you know your numbers doesn't match with the pattern provided. So yeah, that's kind of important thing too. And then there could be other important stuff, but it makes like your crocheting of that pattern like easier. So I wouldn't definitely skip it. I would read it through, and you will understand the crochet pattern really like way easier. All right, so now let's talk about the abbreviations. So the abbreviations, they're basically shortcuts for the stitches or for the terms that they are repetitive. So instead of, let's say, designers using, let's say, instead of half double crochet, they do just HDC because it makes sense, it's faster, and especially if you, let's say, hey, if you have, let's say, 8 rows like repetitive pattern, and each row, if I would have to put half double crochet, it takes too much time. So even for you, it's actually easier to read, and it's also easier for the designer to write that. So there are like shortcuts for like each stitch. Single crochet is SC, foundation chain FCH, but this is something that you don't have to remember like at the beginning. This is something that you will learn, and it kind of makes sense when you start like crocheting and you know the terms like the single crochet, then you will kind of figure that SC is gonna be that. But if not, it's okay. Usually the abbreviations are written before the pattern, so then you can always, like while you're reading the pattern, then you can always go on top of that and see the abbreviations, and you can see, oh, this shortcut is for this term. So it should be definitely there. I use it for sure too, so you can actually see it. And I also include in some patterns, not all the time, I have to be, I don't want to lie, so not all the time, but in some patterns I also use the symbols. Not every crocheter use the crochet chart with the symbols. I use it especially for the easy ones because I assume that easy patterns, more like a beginners will maybe want it, you know, to crochet. So I usually include the crochet chart in those patterns. But it's not a standard. I think that not everyone just does it. Me just sometimes. And the symbols, for me actually personally, it helped me a lot, especially at the beginning. So I remember that I grabbed one free pattern. It was just like a one page or one sheet from Michaels. I don't know if they're still doing it or not, but I remember they had like with the each like or with the specific yarn brand, they had the pattern for that yarn, let's say. And yeah, I know that they had it there, and it was me, like I was just really learning crochet, but enough that I could follow the patterns, and this actually helped me to understand more the visual side. So I am more visual, so for me it was actually, oh, okay, now I can see exactly the symbols and how they go. So I knew that, let's say, oh, double crochet goes into the single crochet from the previous row, and on the next stitch means like that I go into the next one. And like, yeah, it was actually, it really helped me a lot. So this could be actually very helpful. And again, every stitch has their own like symbols. So again, this is something that you don't have to like remember. If the designer includes the crochet chart, it should be like written with the abbreviations. So abbreviations and the symbols, and then usually the crochet chart. So then again, it might be easier for you to actually crochet. So now I can show you actually my crochet chart for the Even Moss Stitch. And you can see the foundation chain at the bottom. So you can also see the start icon. So the arrow showing like where the project starts. So so it like indicating to the foundation chain. So it's left to the right. But then you can see the number 1 on the right. That means that that's the first row, and it goes at it. You read it from the right to the left, because that's like how you start your first row, right? It's like if you would put your project like in front of you, you could exactly see how you're crocheting. Then after the first row, you have to turn the project. So then so number 2 on this crochet chart, you read from the left to the right. So then you can see how the stitches goes. And now you can see for this that you have to alternate between half double crochet and the slip stitch. So this is for my even dishcloth. So now you can see the visual, what's the crochet chart and with the symbols. Alright, so now let's move, and now let's go to the actual crochet pattern, how to read the written instructions. So now again you can see now the section of my first row for this Even Moss Stitch Dishcloth, and we start like with the chain 31. So that's pretty simple. So that means that you first create a foundation chain of 31 chains before the starting row 1. HDC and second chain or second CH from hook. So if you would go up to the abbreviations, then you know that HDC is the half double crochet and the FCH is or the CH is the chain. So then it means that you have to make your half double crochet into the second chain from the hook. Also remember that the loop on your hook doesn't count as a chain, it just whatever is below the hook. So you have to skip the first chain because it's only a turning chain because you're starting the first row, and then you start a half double crochet in your second chain from the hook, and then you see the stars. So the stars indicate that section should be repeated. So in this case, because Even Moss Stitch is about the slip stitches and half double crochet, so then you know you have to repeat that section like of the slip stitch half double crochet for all the across the first row. So this creates that pattern texture. So this is of the first row. Then there's a chain 1 and turn. So now something about the turning chain. So I already was talking about it at the notes, that this is something that I would definitely highlight it, and I would definitely include it in the notes because it's very important. Some chains at the end of the row, they count as a stitch and some don't. So, but don't worry, it should be always written in the pattern. So in this case, in my case for this dishcloth, the chain 1 doesn't count as a stitch, so it's only a turning chain. So that means that in the second row, when you do the first stitch, you insert the hook into that first stitch of the row. But again, you will basically skip that turning chain, if that makes sense. So let's say for the double crochet, usually for the single crochet and half double crochet, you usually using only a turning chains, which is just the one chain and turn, and that's it. For double crochet, some crocheters, they do 3 chains at the end. I personally do 2, but either way, when you do 2 chains and then you turn the project, the 2 chains for the double crochet pattern, it counts as a first stitch. So then you will make your regular double crochet into the next stitch or into the second stitch, if basically when you see the row and your project. So I don't want to make it more confusing. It should be always written in the pattern. So now you know that for this Even Moss Stitch, it's only a turning chain and it doesn't count as a stitch. Then usually after every row, you should have in the brackets a number. So that means how many stitches is in that row. So for this Even Moss Stitch, there's 30 because even though that we started with the foundation chain as 31, because we start the first stitch into the second chain from the hook, then that chain was a turning chain. So you should have 30 stitches in the first row, and it's definitely I would highly recommend to recount the stitches, especially if you start crocheting, because if it's not off, then you can easily fix that mistake. Usually it means that you either skip the stitch or you just edit more, so it could be just either or. Usually people miss the first or the last stitches. of the row or of the project, any project. So I would highly recommend to use the stitch markers. They are very handy. I feel like they are very, very underrated, but they are very helpful, and they can actually save you for from some troubles later. Okay, and for this Even Moss Stitch Dishcloth pattern, it's super simple. So then the second row is basically the same as the first one, so there's nothing that I can explain. I hope that I give you a little idea how the patterns are written and what's included in them and how to read it. But basically everything is there actually, so all the shortcuts should be in the abbreviations. If the designer doesn't include the abbreviations, that's just bad. So then you would have to just look it up online, and it would take you a little bit more time before you can actually start crocheting, because if you don't understand that, then it kind of delays that. But usually most designers definitely should include this. This is kind of the main thing. So, and if you have the symbols there, or a video tutorial, it's a huge plus. So I would definitely try all the resources they have within the pattern. If you don't still understand, it's okay, absolutely okay, to reach out the designer and just ask for help to understand better, or even some groups. I'm sure that they could help you too. But hey, don't share all the entire pattern, just that section. And I'm sure that crochet community is beautiful, and everyone would help you really gladly, happily, you know. So just don't be shy, and it's okay. Even sometimes even the advanced crocheters, they cannot read the other designers' patterns because it's really okay, I don't understand that. But this is the main thing what you should know that it's included. And yeah, learning, reading crochet patterns, again, it takes time, like everything in crochet, and you will get more familiar. And even with searching online for some shortcuts and everything, it will click in once. And I also created my cheat sheet, where actually I have the it's like a sums up of the basic crochet abbreviations and the symbols. So that's something that I would also recommend to maybe even print it out, laminate it, get it, and always keep it nearby, and it will help you through your crochet pattern. So about the cheat sheet, you can either find it as a separate product, or also it's included in my Crochet Starter Kit. If you would be interested, it's basically a good starting point for all new crocheters or beginners, where everything is in one place. So I covered all the theory. So whatever I talk about in this mini series before, and even today, it's already there. So there's everything about the yarn, about the hook, about the gauge, how to read the labels, what's the, let's say, even mistakes of the crochet beginners. Also, there's a practical part, with the basic stitches. Video tutorials are included, and a photo tutorial to this cheat sheet, and also my 2 beginner-friendly patterns. And again, there's the Even Moss Stitch Dishcloth. It's actually inside, also with the video tutorials. So everything is in one place, and I think that this is something that you don't have to jump between 1,000 tutorials. Everything is in one place, saves you time of scrolling, and yeah, it's a great starting point. So if you're interested, feel free to see the link. All the links are in the description under this video, so feel free to have a look. And I hope that you learned something new today. I hope that you are a little bit more confident of how reading the patterns. Feel free to leave me any feedback, comments, share, likes. I appreciate everything, guys. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and happy crocheting.